as Chris Paul gets in another wide open three.
Pierre Cardin.
Defers to Booker for the long-range jumper.
Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Chris Paul bring a dinner with the dish. D-Book on the corner with the swish. We the Valley, hating with the dumb. Posterizing, now the crowd getting pumped. We the best, I ain't talking about Cali. Who's next? Never winning in the Valley. Can't wait for that championship rally. Send them home, send them back to Cali. Stand up if you're down for the Suns. Put a finger in the air, we number one. Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing.
Recording.
Welcome everyone to our special edition double episode of the Aussie Suns Fans podcast. And I am Gavin, for those of you who don't know, because normally I don't introduce myself. We're here once again with the other two members of the Big Three, Cable. Cable, how you going?
I'm waking up a little bit disappointed, and we'll talk about that. And I'm sure Hammo is probably feeling the same way.
Absolutely. And Hammo, of course, just gaining notoriety now that he's got Hate with Hammo going on. How you cracking, Hammo?
Yeah, I've had a few comments about the hatred from Hammo, but yeah, it's all been good.
Excellent, mate.
Like Cable, mate, just feeling a little bit sore, but we'll get to that.
That's it. So obviously we've got two games to wrap up. Game two, fantastic result. One of the most exciting games that we've probably ever seen. And I mean, from my perspective, I thought the game was, we played a pretty ordinary game of basketball. But that was overshadowed by, obviously, that outstanding play that won us the game. On the buzzer, DeAndre Ayton, thank you very much for what was probably a play that's going to live in infamy for Suns fans, especially after we lift that Larry O'Brien trophy this year. What do you reckon, Cable?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one for for Suns fans and probably NBA fans in general. It'll be one that'll get shown quite often when they now, in subsequent years, when they flash back to all the great playoff highlights. The Ray Allen shot when he was with the Heat in the finals a few years ago. That gets sort of played a fair bit, and it'll be just one of those ones that they'll show. That'll be in part of the montage of the NBA Finals package in the coming years. But it is. Look, it's great to get the W, and I think it's really important now. Now that we've lost Game 3, that we've got the 2 wins in the bank. But God, in a lot of ways, we really didn't deserve to win Game 2 in so many ways. Yes, I think the reffing was pretty average, and there's some bad decisions that wasn't going our way. But I think we were lucky to scrape through in a lot of ways. And I mean, thank fuck for Paul George missing 2 free throws that he should really never have missed, and could have almost iced the game. And he kept that door ajar for us, and we made sure we used it. And I like to think the crowd helped them over the line. That crowd was amazing. Some of the footage I've seen.
Yeah, they were, weren't they?
And just to be there would have been amazing. But I think as a team, I think we still did enough okay in Game 2. But I saw some issues which obviously bled into Game 3.
And one of the comments I made on the chat yesterday in obviously a disappointing loss was the fact that despite the fact that Booker didn't play well and the team didn't play well, a lot of that's masked when you have a win.
Well, literally masked.
Yeah, and the loss yesterday, that will push our guys to respond and correct what they need to correct in the next game. Hammo, what were your thoughts on Game 2?
Game 2, man. I've been very unfortunate the last 2 games. I got fucked over yet again by a sports bet on game 2. And then, game 3, software update on my phone. Anyway, game 2 was amazing. I thought our guys did really, really good. That last, 90 seconds or whatever, took 33 minutes to play out, which is just crazy. But yeah, that lob, that play setup, Booker's screen, all of that was just amazing, man. Like that was killer. However, somehow I didn't feel it was as loud as when we were taking out the Lakers or the Nuggets.
Well, shit,
when
if you didn't see the crowd videos from the actual
I saw
the
that.
play?
Oh, look, I did, and the best video I've seen was Stephen A. Smith and Michael Wilborn sitting there just like, what the fuck? And it was, look, it didn't sound as loud to me. But yeah, no, definitely the crowd was great. I'm not saying they weren't, but that was a brilliantly designed play, excellently executed. It was just really, really good, man.
And Monty claims that he just got lucky. It wasn't really his play, blah, blah. Bullshit, Monty. Stop spinning shit to your fans. That was all you. There's no doubt about it. Maybe if Chris Paul was in the building, I might have gone, all right, it was Chris Paul that drew it up. But that was Monty. To actually think of the Tyson Chandler play and say, hey, I know that we can do this. Because DeAndre Ayton said after the game a couple of times that he wasn't even sure of the rules. So he did it. And the reason he didn't get all excited was because he was waiting for the referees to call goaltending. Yeah. But Monty said to him, no, this will work. Do it. And obviously we got the result. The other thing that came out of that for me, if this series continues to be, and we keep getting close games and stuff like that, over the last few games, I've really noticed like Paul George has been fantastic for the Clippers. Let's not mix anything up there. He's had a really good playoff series as a whole. He is shithouse in the clutch. He is ordinary in the clutch. I hope that they give Paul George the ball in a close game and not Reggie Jackson, because Reggie Jackson is the man doing the damage.
Yeah, he's balling out.
All right, game 3, Cable. I'll give you my feedback. Fucking whitewash, move on. Let's go to game 4. Cable, yours?
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, well, let's move on. No, I just think it's somewhat ironic for me, at least for me personally. It was the first game I was able to sit down from the first tip and not be distracted by work, dogs, kids, postage delivery guys, whatever. I was
so
able
it was
to watch.
your fault.
Yeah, so I was.
I said it on the chat yesterday, and I'm going to now maintain that. This is following on. You are just giving us a trend of your fault here.
Yeah. So I was able to sit there, but we obviously had the chat going at the time during the game, and there was one point I just felt like we were off, and Book wasn't hitting anything, and then I think it must have been a little bit in the second quarter. We started to feel like it started to click a little bit. And then you said in the comment, oh, don't worry, we've settled down now. And I thought, I think Gav's right. And then we started making a couple of bad decisions again. And then the odd turnover would pop up or they'd hit a 3. And then it just, we never really felt 100% clicking the gear. I mean, and it doesn't help when, unfortunately, and it's not to blame Book or Chris Paul, but when they go 10 for 40 from the field, I mean, that you're not going to win too many games with your best 2 players shooting like that. I mean, and it can't always be Ayton all the time. It's great that he's stepped up and been really important, but he can't carry the team all the time. And the thing, listening to even the solar panel and then discuss a few things and say, oh, well, we won't have another bad game like that. That was our worst shooting game, and that. All that sort of stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's true. But then technically Books had 2 pretty average games back to back. I'm not saying he played badly, but the nose thing is obviously an issue, and I've never had to wear a face guard. I've played probably 2 weeks after a broken nose. It's not the most comfortable thing if you're trying to breathe through it and stuff like that. But Patrick Beverley, even though we all think he's a grub, has played fantastic D on Book and got under his skin. And Book has to rise above that. He has to find a way. And I don't know whether that's also his teammates getting around him and supporting him a bit better, setting better screens or what. Or, just making sure, trying to get the switches happening and all that. But Book's got to be better. Like, we praising him a couple of weeks ago in some of his games, and obviously game one, but it's almost like he's like, oh, well, I've done it. I'm MVP.
Yeah. And
then
that is the point.
Games.
That is the point for me. I think that Devin Booker has just gone, you know what? I can take Patrick Beverley on my worst day. He's drank a bit of his own bathwater, Book.
Yeah, I think so.
After the last couple of series, that will. I have got all the confidence in the world that will straighten out in game 4. Yeah. He has been disappointing, and as I said, I think game 2 masked it. Having the win covered the fact that Booker didn't play a great game and Beverley got into his head. Game 3 and copping a flogging. The last time Patrick Beverley did this to Book, he came out and tore the Clippers apart. And I think Beverley fouled out 3 minutes into the last quarter. Book got in his face. Like, he was just up and about. There's a bit of a double team going on with Patrick Beverley and Mann on Book. And I think, just watching the game, I think Book drank his own bathwater.
Yeah.
He played a lazy game of basketball on offense. His shot selection was poor. His decision-making was poor. He was going through the motions. We won't see that again.
Well, I hope not, because the reality is, if that sort of pops up again too often, we're going to get fucking beaten in 7 games and look really embarrassed. I'm positive he can turn around. I don't want to put it too much on him, but I agree with you. Like, it's one thing to play a good game and just have just a bit of a bad luck night, like the shots rimming out and stuff. But I agree with you. I felt like a lot of the shot selection was pretty average, and I think definitely, just some of his decision making was average. The one thing I'll give him and Chris Paul credit for, especially in that first half, the way they were able to get it in, and then when the double teams came, to actually find open men to drop the shots. There was one where Book was on the other side of the key, drove it in, looked like he was going to go to 8, and he threw it all the way out to, I think Crowder might have been, or Bridges out.
Cam Johnson.
Oh, Cam Johnson. Yeah, sorry, Cam Johnson.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of good assists there. So he was looking, but then there was a few that it got thrown away.
And I think that's the important thing is that's the difference. And you made a really good point there, Cable. He didn't have an unlucky night. He had a poor night. Yeah. It was poor shot selection. And he was like, a couple of times he'd beaten Pat Beverley on a dribble and pulled up and tried to take a jump shot instead of going to the rack. Yeah. Like, we're not going to see that Devin Booker again.
Yeah. Do you think though, and not to try and give him an excuse or an out, but do you think, unfortunately, due to the injury, there was almost that hesitation to go too hard to the rack, because we know the Clippers had started becoming physical, but also he was sort of in early-ish foul trouble, and it's like, well, I don't need to rack up any more fouls, maybe getting a charge, or I don't really need to get hit in the face going up.
Yeah. I'm not sure the mask impacted his ability to go to the basket, because, to be honest, late in the game, he started going hard to the rack and scored about 4 or 5 in a row on the drive.
Yeah.
I think that the mask and the injury have certainly affected his jump shooting and the way that he's approaching that. But I don't think, from a going to the rack perspective, I don't think so. But one of the other points I wanted to bring up, based on your take there, Cable, how fucking important is campaign to this team?
Yep.
Because that was the turning point of that game.
Oh, 100%.
When campaign went down without the backup, and each one more came on, tried to cover the campaign minutes, but he's nowhere near.
Well, I guess this is one of my arguments. I've actually probably backed in Monty a lot. I mean, obviously, when we're winning, he's coaching, you'd like to think, fairly well and making the right substitutions and the right movements. But once everything got thrown out, campaign getting injured and playing only the 4 minutes, Mikal Bridges getting fouled, well, not fouled out, but, getting the 2 fouls in a minute 30 and then Cam Johnson coming in, which Cam Johnson was fantastic again, I think, for the, the minutes he played and the shots. He made the most of all his shots, unlike Book and Chris Paul. But why didn't we have Javon Carter come in at some point? Because I just think there's something about Campaign brings in a bit of speed, and I think just defensively and just speed-wise, I think Javon Carter is going to give you something extra. And I think it's nothing against more, but I think once the Campaign was out, I think that changes the dynamic of what we've got. And that's when you've got we have to throw Carter in.
And I know that when I give Hammo his wrap-up of the Game 3, he'll go with this, so I don't want to steal his thunder too much. I do agree. One of the main reasons I would have brought Javon Carter in instead of Etwan Moore, though, was to get stuck into Pat Beverley.
Yeah, 100%.
To play the same defense on Beverley that Beverley was playing on Booker.
Yeah.
Really get in Pat Beverley's face. Etwan just went through the motions. And at that stage of the game, and obviously the deflating nature of the game by losing Campaign, that really hurt us. And we needed that energy from someone like Javon. Hammo, why don't you give us a bit of a wrap-up from your side of things?
Just a quick one, man, because like I said, didn't get to see a lot of the game. Respectfully, what you said about the mask not affecting Booker that much, I personally think it made a huge difference to him. I mean, them photos that you see of him wearing the mask, it's like, he's got smaller eyes than me. But
no, I didn't say the mask didn't affect him. I said I don't think it affected him going to the rack.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
In the first few minutes from the rewatch that I did, he had some bad turnovers, just some shocking passes and that kind of thing. I think it affected him more than what we expected. But yeah, definitely what Cable said about bringing in Bulldog should have been. But yeah, I think we were just a little bit tired too.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that.
Yeah, we just didn't seem to. Like, it's not that big of a travel from. I think driving distance LA to Phoenix is about 5 hours. I could be wrong.
It's been a big game, not 9-game stretch.
Oh yeah, man. And expectations and all that coming off a sweep against the Nuggets and stuff, man. I just think I said in the last cast, I said if we're going to lose one, let it be game 2.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have CP3, but all right, sweet. Lost one on the road, one more on the road, I believe, and then we go back home.
Correct.
Let's just do it, man.
And that's the thing. If we pluck tomorrow's game, it just changes the entire face of the series again. So for mine, I was really hopeful that we'd win game 1 and game 2, go back to LA, bring Chris Paul in. If we were going to drop one, I would have been. Yesterday's game was the game I wanted him to drop.
But having said that, I think we're happy. I'd like to think I'd be happy to drop one, but you'd want your team to be a bit more, have a better game. I think a lot of them to sort of be down was a bit disappointing. I think, like I said, and I've heard, who knows? I've never had COVID, so I can imagine it is like coming back from a bad flu, and and even though your brain's saying you can do this, you're probably not just going to have the amount of energy that you would normally. So I think that could probably explain why Chris Paul wasn't as up as he normally was. But you know what blew my mind? Like, I just think everything seemed to go the Clippers' way. They were playing better in that, especially in that third quarter. And then Paul George hits that fucking half-court shot on the buzzer. And I go, that has to be it. Like, I mean, everything's going like, there's no way. And then, you know what blew my mind? Was it about 7-minute mark? All of a sudden, we went on a 12-0 run or 12-2 run or something like that. And all of a sudden, it was back to 6 points, and they were up and about, and we're hitting shots, and Book was actually sort of playing a bit better. And like you said, he went to the hoop a few times. Chris Paul was finding guys. And all of a sudden, it felt like, you know what, this is crazy, but we could actually pinch this and not almost deserve it. And then the next 2 plays, after we worked so hard to get back in, worked the D, stopped their shots, then
2 ridiculous threes.
Well, Chris Paul runs the clock down and then jacks up a crap 3. And then I can't remember who put the other shot, but they're just poor decisions. Like, go into 8 or do something different.
Yeah.
You're putting up low percentage shots, and then they go down, and I think they hit a 2, and then Reggie Jackson hits a big 3, and then you go game over again. It's like it was just like so close. I just think that's how bad we were playing. That even when we got into a position where we could, claw it back, we just throw it away with poor decision making.
But on the other hand, the really positive thing is that over 4 quarters we were so poor, but with 6 minutes to go, we got within 6.
Yeah.
Reality is that that's the beauty of our side. And I was on another group chat with a group of friends of mine, and we do a fantasy basketball league.
Oh, what a slut you are! More chats.
I am a bit of a dirty whore. But we were talking about, basically somebody wrote out there and went, look, you guys have been on a really good run. If you drop one, you drop one. And I went, yeah, but we're kind of like the Clippers. We're never going to really be out of this. And then we went from 15 down to within 6.
Yeah.
And he wrote back and went, holy shit, how'd you know this was coming? And I went, well, I didn't, but it's kind of what our team does.
Yeah, 100%.
But overall, disappointing. But if we were going to drop one, look, the positives are CP3 got a game in. That's only going to blow the cobwebs off.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone forgets.
Yeah, he seemed rusty. It was like he was coming back from a 12-month injury. Yeah.
Book gets through another game closer to not needing a mask and settling in, or at least getting used to having to wear one.
I don't think he needed the mask anyway, man. Like, I don't
his
see
face
the need for it.
His face is pretty, and Kendall won't be happy if he keeps
it wasn't
getting
after
knocked out.
game 2.
And let's be honest, it's Pat Beverley.
Yeah,
that's why he needs the mask.
Well, I was going to say
Pat
that's the other
thing.
thing.
Accidentally belted him again.
I just want to see him and Paul George, and they get knocked back on their asses in game 4, because the way, look, I mean, good on them, like if they're winning and that, but the way they were carrying on, like they'd won the championship yesterday. Oh, that really infuriated when they
gang signs.
and him and Reggie Jackson. I'm like, settle down. But having said that, they have a right to, or they have. Yeah, they almost have the right to show off and be confident and over the top, because they've actually come back from this position twice already. So that's kind of what scares me a little bit, is that they've done this before, and if they get their confidence up too much and we go into our shells, then we're kind of screwed. I still think we win, but we need to knock them on their ass. In that first 30 seconds on Sunday, we need to put, lay it on the line and say, hey, we're not going to be pushed around by you guys. We set the standard, not you guys. And
all right, we've got to keep moving, guys. We've spent too long on this. Player of the game, game 3. What do you got, Hammo?
Like I said, didn't get to see a lot.
Game 3, not game 4. Game 3.
Yep. Game 3.
Sorry, game 2. Sorry.
Yep, game 2. Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Book.
He was shit house. Cable.
Yeah, it has to be Aiden. Has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah, I would have gone DA as well, but I'll throw Jay in just for the pass.
Yeah. Well, he did the pass. That other really good alley-oop dunk he got early in the game, that was from Jay as well.
Valley-oop.
Absolutely, it was the valley-oop. The only one I can't leave him out. I'm going to go CP15.
100%.
Was
100%.
massive.
See? I was going to say how quickly we forget. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
He was massive in that game too. So I'll go campaign 15. We'll get that up on the poll. Game 3. Hammo, what do you got? Game 3.
Oh, geez, man. I mean, I thought Crowder was good. Jay. Yep. That'll be me.
Beautiful. Cable.
I'm going to go for Cam Johnson.
Damn it. That's twice you've stolen mine.
Well, you should have gone with yours first.
I'm kind of trying to host it. I'll give you guys the first go. Cam Johnson was great. I'm going to go in with an ode to our mate Sancho, and I'm going to put Sticks in for his 1 rebound.
It was a good rebound too.
Was one arm was being held. Unbelievable. So obviously game 3 was pretty disappointing, but anyway, flog of game 3, or the area of game 3 right across the league. Hammo, what do you got for us?
Paul George.
Any particular thing with game two? Sorry, game two.
Oh, game 2.
Yeah, game two.
No, just Paul George being Paul George.
Just Paul George.
He's a fuckwit, and I just
Yep.
don't understand.
I think you could have thrown in the fact that the bloke was walking around like a massive tool and missed the 2 foul shots to ice the game.
That would have
worked.
I mean, that's huge. And the fact that he's like gone back to the bench straight after, he's like, damn. It's like, hey, what are you yelling at, mate? It's all your fault.
Yeah, he looked like Ron Simmons out of the WWE. Damn. All right, Cable, who you got for his biggest flog game 2?
I think Patrick Beverley.
Bev?
Or is this just I think this should just be thought. I think he's just, look, I know all the players do remonstrate to the refs sometimes. This, what about this? But I just feel like he's just so over the top.
Yeah,
and he wants to make sure he's always in the refs' ear telling them, this and that, and it felt like he influenced a bit, like he was getting things go his way, or the refs were double, sort of doubting themselves and then looking at stuff, and it's like, fucking just get out of their faces. You're not always right, and you're not the ref. Just play the fucking game. He
carries on like a meth head from fucking Berkeley, man.
Yeah, not only that, it's they have physically been able to get away with a hell of a lot. Paul George gets away with a shove off every fucking time he goes down the floor. The Utah Jazz were whinging about it, and I'm going, fucking Utah, stop sulking, you just shit. They were right. Paul George he just runs around with the forearm out the whole time. So anyway,
all day, every
my
day.
flogs for around game 2, the game 2 area was the Sixers. You fucking bunch of spuds. The process is broken. Can't believe you got fucking knocked out by Atlanta. And what did Atlanta lose by today? Well, I mean, that's my game 3 fucking flog for losing to Atlanta in game 1. But I think the Bucks won by 40 today. In the end, 34. So they must have come back when the benches came in. So, how the fuck Atlanta are in the Eastern Conference Finals?
No, it's crazy, isn't it?
That is just insane, man.
Hey, look, I'm supporting them because if we get through, or when we get through, I want to play Atlanta in the finals.
Do we not have a better season record this year against the Bucks?
Probably,
yes,
but
we do.
Probably, but the problem with the Bucks is they've got Middleton and Giannis. Now let's not get into that.
Crowder, Ayton.
Yeah, we do. But let's not get into that because we've got to get past the Clippers first. All right, game 3. Flog. Hammo, PG.
That and the referees, like usual.
Refs.
How did we not say Scott Foster? Oh, sorry.
No, you got it.
He wasn't. Scott Foster wasn't as bad as that fucking other idiot that refed our game yesterday. What was his fucking name? Jeez, played the deflection off Torrey Craig on the backcourt, which was a massive play.
Yeah. I can't believe nothing.
Game.
I can't believe nothing more came of that, to be honest. I can't believe that.
Massive moment of the game, and he was also the same dickhead that allowed Jay Crowder to shove off and then called a foul on Crowder.
Yeah.
And then Crowder had that 3, and I think it was Paul George, or whoever was defending him, landed in his feet, and Crowder went to the ground like 4 minutes.
And he was
into the
also
game,
the same,
and there was nothing.
Same referee that didn't call the elbow from Paul George in the face that put Crowder on his ass.
Yes.
So let's go with the refs overall, but there was one in particular. I did read his name, can't remember it now, but fuck you. Cable, flog.
Well, I was just going to let it ride for Patrick Beverley again because I thought he was just a pain in the ass, annoying, and just maybe it's a reflection on Booker as well for not sort of, whatever. Long story short, I think he's just a pain in the ass. He's just a real pain in the ass. He's annoying. And it's even more annoying that he's actually a good defender and he plays pretty well. And when he put some shots up, they went in. So it just rubs more salt in the wounds. You think he's not just he's not just a fucking blowfly. he's half decent basketball. Yeah.
Agree. Now I'm going to go controversial here, and everyone on the page will probably hate me. My flog for game 3 was our Phoenix Suns team outside of DeAndre Ayton. The bloke's fucking dominating and we're struggling. Give him the fucking ball. That's all.
No, fair call.
Multi.
Can we just talk? I don't know if Hammo wants to put in. I don't totally disagree with what you just said, but I think there's a part of me that goes, yes, if Aiton's dominating, keep getting it. Just don't stop. It's just any sport. If you've got a player on your team that's dominating,
I don't mind us shooting.
But I think sometimes but I think I agree with you. I think if someone's dominating and we've got an advantage on somewhere on the floor, whether it's any sport, if you've got, your full forward just dominating, he's got, he's beating his opponent, you keep giving it to him.
Give him the ball. Yeah.
So I get it. But I think sometimes we say that, but it's a very simplistic thing to just say that, well, I think the Clippers did well defensively to sort of try and at least minimize that damage or at least put pressure on the ball getting to Aiton. So,
yeah.
And like you said, like maybe it was the turnovers, maybe it was poor selection by Book or Paul or whoever had the ball. But I feel like it's easy to say get it to Aiton, and I agree. Like I feel like there's games where he's dominating the first quarter, then never touched it in the second quarter. But is it also the defense getting better or at least stopping him from getting it?
But that was the problem. I don't think it was. In the game, we ran several pick and rolls where Aiton was on a mismatch, could have fed him the ball, but we didn't. We went to contested threes or took contested elbow jumpers or whatever. Now, if we're hitting, no problem. But when we're struggling like we were in the third quarter and the Clippers started to develop that lead, we need to slow our offense down, go into the anchor and let him go.
Yeah.
Let him go to work. I mean, at one stage there during the third quarter, he was 7 from 9 from the field, including hitting some jumpers over the top of Zubats. Like when we have those down flat periods where we're not hitting our shots, go back to it, set up, make sure that we get into the anchor. Then that opens the floor up for the outside shooters. Then we start feeding back out.
Yep, totally.
That's just my. It's just frustrating to me that we've got a guy who is playing the basketball of his life right now in the playoffs, and we were struggling. As we spoke about, what Book and CP3 were 8 from 40. Give DeAndre Ayton the ball. Let him go to work for a bit.
Like Colin Cowherd said, man, what I shared on the page earlier this morning, like he goes, it's so good to see a dominant, proper centre, not a stretch that's out there dropping threes. He's sitting in the key, like just waiting for the ball. Anyway,
and he's dunking like a fucking monster at the moment.
Before we get to the multi, we've got to do fan of the week, mate.
No, that's our big pod.
Oh, okay. Next time.
So that'll be tomorrow, Monday, our next one.
Monday. All right. My bad.
All right. Multi. So we've got Mikhail 1 block.
Cam 1
steal. Listen, Mikhail, I know you watch the podcast. You've let me down the last 2 fucking times. You're going to be replaced with Torrey Craig if you don't step up. All right? We need a block from you. All right. And we want Suns at the line. Actually, what are we? Oh, we're favourites again.
No, 188 I've got at Ladbrokes.
Yeah, 188 at Ladbrokes, but at the line we're $1.90, so we'll go
probably
at the line.
0.8 at Sports.
The line's -1, so I think we should be okay there. Right, multi-time. Let's go Cable.
Well, this is something, and I don't want to keep dragging us out a bit, but Boyd brought up the fact, and I noticed it the other day too. I want to have Jay Crowder in the threes, and they had taken Jay Crowder out of the threes bracket, which is bizarre. And he scored too early. Like, what the fuck you doing, Ladbrokes? We've just pumped you up, pumped the tyres up a bit, and you take Jay Crowder out. Give me...
He's still out. He's not in mine.
Well, anyway, besides the point...
I've got it on the last multi for game 2.
I want to give me DA for 20 plus points.
DA 20 plus points, like it. Hey, mate.
I sent this to Cable in our Big 3 chat. I'm going to chuck it in again.
Don't tell people, Rich.
Torrey Craig, 10 plus points.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
It's
that's
fucking horrible. That's horrible.
Never know.
Yeah, you never know. It'll. What's it paying?
I think he's a little bit sort of our
probably
dark
$7.
horse.
Yeah.
I can't
You know
bet
what
on
I mean?
Torrey Craig for 10 plus points.
All right, let's go. Bridges
that
3
fucks it.
threes.
All right, Bridges 3 threes. Let's see if we can bet on that one. Threes make it 3 plus. Mikal Bridges. Yes, we can.
Ladbrokes, you need to include Torrey Craig for 10 plus points.
I am going to throw in PRA because you guys know I love my PRAs.
Oh, it's
Chris
a great little
Paul-
bundle.
Chris Paul at the moment for his PRA is $1.83 for over 31.5. I'm going to put him in at 225 for over 35
Wow.
because Chris Paul is going to fucking dominate game 4.
Yeah, we're going to come out this next game with like a, not to say a chip on our shoulder, but at least a fire under our ass.
I think Chris Paul will have 20 to 25 points, and I think he'll have 12 to 15 assists. And then all I need him to do is pick up, 3 or 4 rebounds, and we'll be right. So our multi is Mikal 1 block, Suns at the line, DA 20 plus points, Mikal Bridges 3 plus threes, Chris Paul plus 35 PRA. It's going to pay if we get up. So that'll be good. Gents, thank you very much for joining again. We have, we'll obviously have our bigger pod come the next couple of days. But fantastic. Fantastic. We've got massive game tomorrow. Quickly, Cable, who wins and by how much?
Us by 4.
Hammo?
Us by 2.
Suns by 10 plus. Enjoy, guys. See you on the next pod.
As Chris Paul gets in, another wide open 3.
Pierre Cardin.
Defers to Booker for the long-range jumper.
PHOENIX. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. PHOENIX. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Chris Paul bring a dinner with the dish. D-Book on the corner with the swish. We the valley, hating with the dump. Posterizing, now the crowd getting pumped. We the best, I ain't talking about Cali. Who's next? Never winning in the valley. Can't wait for that championship rally. Send them home, send them back to Cali. Stand up if you're down for the Suns. Put a finger in the air, we number 1. PHOENIX. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. PHOENIX. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing.